Welcome back for another 480 podcast pregame preview presented by Travanci, hosted by the 480. Today, we're covering the TCU Horned Frogs all the way from Fort Worth off an Iron Skillet W. The last one, by the way, coming into the hot, sunsetted, beautiful biome. I don't even know how to describe Tempe, Arizona. Let's just say it is a lit Tempe, Arizona. They are coming to visit ASU, and this actually marks our first Big 12 matchup between TCU and ASU. Guys, welcome. I am so excited to cover this game. More importantly, because I want to see what our defense can do against a true finesse offense, true finesse quarterback. If we can make Josh Hoover and Sawyer Robertson uncomfortable and face some adversity within 2 weeks back-to-back, I'm feeling confident in this front seven. But okay, so we're not going to go and be ahead of ourselves right now. I am really confident in this TCU team, and to have Sonny Dykes coming into Tempe, they're going to be more than prepared. They have probably been having this matchup circled because it's a Friday Night Lights classic. The entire world will be watching, but this is the validating game for their season. We probably knew that TCU was going to get the better end of SMU last week in the Iron Skillet. It was a home game. It was a rivalry game. You know, they put a lot of great tape out there playing UNC, so you didn't really see the TCU weak spots. And so when you see SMU lose in a miraculous fashion to BYU in the fourth quarter, being up 2 possessions, you start to notice, okay, Rhett Lashley's team struggles there, and then we could probably expose them there. And TCU had a confident blueprint, and it really didn't take for them until towards the end of the game for them to create that garbage time with maybe, 5 to 10 minutes left in the fourth. But I think the beauty in this one is we have 2 programs with very grind-driven coaches, right? Like Sonny Dykes is a player coach, but he's very grind-oriented. He wants to see his team grind out their identity. And then Kenny Dillingham can't even say anything less than that. It is the same exact tool. So what I really want to see this Friday is I want to see a good football game. I don't think this will be blowout worthy because Josh Hoover can play from behind, right? This defense can struggle sometimes with a finesse quarterback, If Josh Hoover is able to find broken coverages, soft spots in zone, he can expose this defense in this secondary. So the beauty in it is, it's so early in the season. It's a qualifier in the Big 12 to see who is really legit and who's a contender or pretender conversation game. And I can't stress this enough. Like, I want to see what this ASU defense can do to the TCU offense, because really everything is so rhythmic with this ASU offense. I'm confident that they can get into a rhythm on this TCU defense, but now, is there going to be a response factor going back and forth? Will ASU be responding to TCU, or will TCU be responding to us? I think it's going to be that second way around where, TCU is going to have to respond to some scores from ASU. But we're going to talk some ball more in depth. I want to talk some players, some guys that I really actually adore about TCU, and they're from last year. Like, I know these guys. Like, I'm an intimate fan with good defensive players, and these guys pop off the tape. So just knowing that these guys are going to be in Tempe, I'll have some talk for them waiting, because I will be watching them stretch. I will be saying some things, adding some chirp factor to it, but it can't minimize their talents. They're really good players. So on defense, they have a good secondary. The 2 guys that I'm very excited about is Bud Clark and Channing Canada. Okay, Channing Canada will most likely be locked in on Jordan Tyson, but Sonny Dykes is the type of coach to double our best player. So this is going to require a lot of attention to the secondary characters of this offense. I don't think Jalen Moss is going to play. They're going to give him until after the bye. So really what I want to see right now is I want to see some involvement with Derek Eusebio and Jaron Hamilton. I want to see them game planned into separation. Okay. A lot of our team has been yak oriented, and yak really implies that there isn't much separation. They're just trying to run and get more yards and move the chains. Sometimes, yeah, yak implies like, yo, you're wide open, but that is so rare. So my whole thing is, how will Marcus Arroyo keep Sam Levitt in a rhythm and help him mitigate any turnovers? Because Bud Clark and Channing Canada are turnover savvy DBs. These guys will catch you sleeping. And so I'm not necessarily worried about the running game. I think we will stay on tempo. This is probably the healthiest we've seen the three runners, all of them back to back to back, just working coalesced. And I know Kenny Dillingham wants to dominate time of possession in this game because you want to keep the ball out of Josh Hoover's hands. You don't want him making explosives to win the game on his end. So really, I want to see some explosiveness, but some intermediate explosiveness. I want to see 10 to 15-yard chunk plays. I don't want to see some blowing up plays. I already know I've had my hopes let down if that was my expectation. But I want to see efficient chunk plays that imply confidence. Like, I want to see that Levitt is visibly confident on the field. I want to see him moving. I don't want to see him running for his life. And if we stay in a rhythm, stay on tempo, get the ball to our playmakers and have them make their yak, but also create good concepts that gives the playmakers an opportunity to explode as well. That's what I want to see. Jordan Tyson, he might not have a great game. There might be some schemed that, he gets some separation. He's able to do his thing. But if anything, this TCU team knows that they need to shut down our best player. He's a top 10 pick, and that's exactly what they'll do. So really exciting. Actually want to see if, and I think they did, TCU playing Arizona, and this is a good qualifier in my opinion, because TCU guarded Tet McMillan, and he still did his thing, 9 receptions for 115 yards, but it was just a sense of 1 interception for Fafita. So yes, right, it was a predictable one-dimensional offense, and TCU took full advantage of that on defense. Let's see who had. Yeah, Bud Clark, Channing Canada. They had their things. They did their things. They're gonna get their pass breakups. Really, that's like the beauty in this game is like who's gonna win their one-on-one matchups and which game plan will become more efficient or will translate to more efficiency. Who's executing, pretty much. And I like ASU to execute, but again, we won't go over that just right away, right? So offensively driven, finessely offensively driven. How do you say that? A finessed offense that is driven. I don't even know. Grammatically, that is incorrect, but what is correct is that this team is an air raid offense. Having Kavorian Barnes out of the game, this is going to put a lot of real estate on Jeremy Payne's ability to move the chains. I don't think Jeremy Payne will do well, but again, this is a good run defense going up against a one-dimensional offense, and it is to Josh Hoover's ability to extend plays and to keep the chains moving. 2 really good receivers. You got Eric McAllister. He's looking like a Sunday player. He's actually top 5 in receiving yards right now. Good for him. And then we got Jordan Dwyer, who I haven't seen much of. He's a young kid. I want to see more of his tape for sure. But they don't have the classic Jack Beck and Savion Williams that scares me, right, on the separators. What really made this TCU team so good, they weren't explosive dominant last year. They were a middleman in the Big 12, but they were so good because they made the necessary trunk plays. What I was alluding to on our offensive recipe was they made those chunk plays that moved the chains. That was a big 10-yard, 15-yard gang. Now they're almost flipping the side of the field, and that momentum is becoming infused in this offense because they're able to get those on-time rhythm throws going or plays, running plays as well. So I'm not really worried that Josh Hoover is going to throw the airway and get a 60-yard touchdown over us or start to dice us down and get these wide open receivers. No, we're not like that. We're a very disciplined defense, and we do our best to keep things in front of us and guarded, well guarded. But my whole thing is Can Josh Hoover make the tight NFL throws? Yes, he can, but will he be comfortable doing it, right? Will he be comfortable running his offense? When Josh Hoover gets a little bit of adversity, that's when he gets uncomfortable. He starts to overthrow a bit or make the wrong reads. How can we disrupt his rhythm and his tempo? This guy relies heavily on it, and if we are able to dial down on our aggressiveness and attacking the ball, scaring the offensive line with stunt and weird looks that, if we can just disguise our coverage, I think Josh Hoover in itself will be thinking and outthink his way into a loss, like outthink his way out of this game, right? Like he's going to overcomplicate things if we're giving him those confusing looks. So I like our game plan. I love that Brian Ward gave his flowers to Josh Hoover. It's really just football justice when you're, shouting out the opponent, telling him, hey, he's the best quarterback we've gone up against all year or ever, really. And it's like, yo, like I know what you're doing. Like you're flaunting the opponent so that you can't say when things go bad, hey, it's falling on the karmic energy, right? Like you don't have any bad karma. Brian Ward is doing exactly what you're supposed to do. Supposed to give your flowers to the opponent, acknowledge the positives in their game plan, and you're supposed to go behind doors, scheme against the negatives of their game plans, and you're supposed to exploit their deficiencies behind doors. And so you're not supposed to commercialize that. You're supposed to keep that in-house, and he's done a great job staying even-keeled. I love Brian Ward keeping this team even-keeled because this defense is the opposite of even-keeled. They are so emotional. So I cannot wait to see what happens with this defense. This will be such a validating game on my end because I want to see how we fare up against an air raid offense, air raid QB, potential top 20 quarterback in the country as well. This is a testifier to how we will contend in December, January against some of the better quarterbacks who have better OCs. So, guys, we're trying to go for a ring here. This is not about winning the 12. This is about extending the season into competitive play. How can we get ourselves into the race? And so this is a great qualifier game. I think this one will be. Baylor game was instrumental in the success of this ASU team, and TCU game will be as well. I love these early game Big 12 matchups. It only gets better from here. But again, I probably put Mississippi State game as the sole cause for why this team is good. And then the Baylor team for a very strong case for validating the quality of this team. And then I think after you beat TCU, that's what will tell you, hey, we're legit. We should win this conference and we should contend in the CFP. So that's my take. Now score prediction. Give me ASU 35, TCU 27. I think TCU will come down to the wire. It'll be 20-35. ASU will be having such a dominant game. They'll put 3 scores on in the first half, 2 scores on before the fourth quarter. We'll start to slow things down a bit. And then I think Josh Hoover sneaks one in with Eric McAllister. I think in the first half, they'll be 6-21, right? It'll be such a dominant game. They'll get 2 touchdowns in the third, make it a 20-35. We'll keep responding. They'll keep responding to us. Then we'll be quiet a bit. By the fourth quarter, we'll just be trying to run the clock down. They'll get a quick garbage time touchdown in, 35-27. They'll get the ball back with 1:30 left, and our defense will shut down Josh Hoover to his expense, and they will come up 8 points short in winning this game in Tempe. So give me the Sun Devils. I don't see this being a very close game, like 1 to 4 points. I actually do see this being more of a touchdown or bigger possession, but I like ASU in this game a lot. This is a huge validation game for them, and it's a blackout, so they will show up. All right, guys, let's go Sun Devils. I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks so much for watching all this college football content. This is a Sun Devil Sparky segment presented by Travancio by the 480. Make sure to check out more of our content this season. We have pre-games, post-games. We interview beat writers. We cover college football. We cover the talent in our conference. We do everything possible to bring you the objective coverage of what is to be expected every Saturday. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Appreciate it.